All right. All right. So this is part two. Catching this first from VOD. There's a previous video up where I make everything that you see here. Um, and now what we're to do, finish adding spawn points for the flags and then for the other modes. What's up, Badger? And then we're gonna do occlusion, render the minimap, build this for Dizo. Uh, And then I think from there we'll maybe get some input from people in chat if they're around and see if there's anything they want me to like either add or like show like how to do. I'll find a way to incorporate that into the level. Uh, yeah, I want to get this done hopefully this weekend so we can on. Um, let's see here. So we're looking at cuboids. Cuboids do a lot of different things, but they include all the spawn points. So I think we placed blue spawns. I think the next one is probably green. Yeah, these green spawns where the green flag is. Just get them like in a position that makes it easier to access so that they're not under the map. Like fine tune them so they're all in view. So probably not this, maybe. This one's not bad, but maybe just like have it be at the top of the hill, facing more outward. Yeah. I don't know if I really want to put a spawn inside the trees. Um, could put one like on the other side of the. Could put one here too. Yeah, we'll put one right here. I think that's fine. Be like slightly away from pickup. Be like right here, actually. We'll have it face. Yeah, we'll have it face like here, so it's not facing a tree. Like that. Let's find the orange ones. Okay, so have like a spawn here. Maybe like orange versus green, so maybe decent green base. Be a little bit further away from the rock so it's not cause problems for like cameras or like players spawning in the rock. Alright, and then do red, which is gonna be like right after. Uh, so here, be like one here, like close to the rock, but like so it's not in view of anything. Not gonna get spawn. Not gonna spawn and be like shot at immediately. Um, I guess you could be, but it's not as bad. This be facing that way. Yeah. So those would be the flag spawns, and then we can find all the normal player spawns. Just start putting them down as well. I have to add some new ones. There's really that many in here. Something I discovered recently with King of the Hill is that, well, really any game mode that has like freeform spawning, so King of the Hill, Deathmatch, Juggernaut, the spawning algorithm uses a uh, there's like a point system, so it'll iterate through every possible spawn point, and it'll compare the distance from that spawn point to any nearby players, and it'll add points to it based off of um, the distance it has to each player. And then I think it's pretty much the lowest points is the closest to players, and it finds um, a spawn point that's like effectively like 40 units away from other players, and it takes the six points that have like the six hills spawn points that have that are in that ring basically of 40 units away from where the other players are, and then it picks a random one from those six. That was a horrible way of explaining it, but basically like it takes six based off some algorithm and then randomly chooses one. So when you're designing hills, you want to think about like having six spawn points that are like somewhat near the hill so that they're not spawning on the other side of the map. If you don't have enough spawn points, that one of those six could end up being like really far away, basically. Here, it's fine. Be like behind this rock. Here, and these flag spawns are going to be reused for player spawns. If you can configure them to only be for flag spawns, but by default they're both. I think, well, I guess it depends on the map, but I think in most cases they're always considered both a flag spawn and a player spawn. Probably put one like down here, facing, be like that, like that. Makes sense. Just keep going through these, adding them. But yeah, generally, I think having more spawn points is better than having a few. Aren't, if you're making a map and you aren't sure like what's best, more is merry, I think. Uh, Probably just like put one on this hill. Yeah, it's okay. We add some spawns here. Center hill. Facing inward, probably. We add another one. Just because of how good of a spot this is. You can kind of go anywhere on the map from here. I think this one will actually have facing outwards towards the swing shot. Makes sense. Probably put some into the. I don't want to be careful because this is not a great place to spawn. If we This is fine. You can charge boot. Should be okay. I don't think you'll spawn water. So look good. Kind of can keep going here. Spawn to use. So add some like to the less to the areas that don't have them are there. Skip through all these. The end of the those are the base maps spawn points. Yeah, let's see if we want to add. I mean, this is like pretty wide open. You definitely add something there. Here. Density is pretty, like, this is dense, this is dense, this is not as dense. This is like very sparse. So like if there's a hill here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean there's a decent chance you spawn here. There's quite a few spawn points that are in areas that aren't too bad to get to this point, so I don't think that's that bad. Same thing here, like even if you spawn over here, you can charge boot down pretty quick. And then the other areas I would say where there are spawn points, so that looks fine. This hill, you could spawn here, which isn't great. You have to kind of go around. Like there isn't like a way to directly go over here, I don't think. But there are still a lot of spawn points outside of it here, more than 6, so it could work. This same thing, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. These are probably too close to count. So maybe adding more spawn points here would be good for that hill. Same thing at this is like 1. This one probably needs it the most. This needs more spawn points. What we can do is we could just like select one and then just duplicate it. Yeah, something like that. I think probably add one like it's like less populated areas. I think I'm gonna add one more over here. Kind of put it in the hill, but not specifically for this hill, but just for like these two. Maybe over here. I think that'll be good. Cool. Yeah, and we can test this now. So if we build, so we want to build cuboids, gameplay. I think this should be good. All right. Kind of just looking at the map right now. I don't think I don't remember if I looked at it after making the last changes I made. It's very open. Does this even work? I guess it kind of works. I don't know why the water looks so metallic. Probably missing something. This needs to be patched up. Okay, let's test Koth really quick. Set the hill's moving time to 30. All right. Okay, yeah, looks good. Hmm. Yeah, these hills are kind of like Serathos. Like that one reminds me of the one on orange, like in the corner. This one's good. I like this hill. It's a little bit hilly though. I mean, that could work. Yeah, I don't really like the red base hill at all. Change that. This is good. You don't really have good vision, like so people can kind of like come out of a lot of spots, which is good. I don't want hills to be approachable. Ideally from different angles. This one's probably gonna have the same problem that red has. Oh yeah. It's a bit better because of this rock here. People could like, and then the hill right here, but yeah, not the biggest fan of that. Um, let's see if I use cheat engine really quick. Let me find the code. There's a code that you can use to respawn rapidly. Um, share that in chat. Go. Yeah, so that's this is the code. Yeah, that's the code. I'll probably put that in the description too. But it's pretty useful if you constant write that value. It just lets you constantly respawn, so you can just rapidly test all your spawn points and make sure that none of them are like bad. And also make sure there's none that you missed maybe from the base map, so you're not spawning under the level. It's a bit harder to do now with the tool, but we've done that in the past. I've done that. The old Bakisi, not the old one, but the new Bakisi used to have spawn points that would put you out in the water. Yeah, it seems fine. Okay, so spawn points look good. I think the hills themselves, I'm okay with this one. I really don't like red though. I think I might just either delete it or move it somewhere else. I think if I moved it down here, it could work. Yeah, I think that's more interesting of a spot. It kind of sucks though, like people up here would just raining B6s or something, but yeah, I mean that's Koth, so I think it's fine. Okay, so cuboids are good. I did want to patch up a couple parts of the map over here. So we'll go and set height. Let's hide the cuboids again. Don't really need to see those. Use that. Just try and get rid of some of these like holes. And smooth out the edges. Yeah, like that, and see what that looks like. shading all the way up so maybe you can see the ripples a bit better. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, this one's got to be patched. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. What the hell? Does not have a. That's interesting. Is that what the square over here is? Is like this is being. I've never seen that before. Okay. So a map is looking. Yeah, let's build this really quick and then we'll test conquest and make sure that conquest the nodes are set up properly. Um, I just realized I need to rebuild collision and T-frags, get the latest terrain. Oh, yeah, I need to turn that code off. Oh, actually, that's good to test the flag spawns. We'll run that really quick. Yeah, I mean that's good. All right, let's take a look at. Yeah, these look. Yeah, that's way better. Um, yeah, that's a lot better. I don't know if I can just charge boot off this. I can't. Yeah, I think I need to fill that hole over there. Um, all right, let's do conquest. Do home nodes. What the fuck? I swear I did home nodes. The hell? Let's find out. So this is the base. Blue home nodes right here. Oh, maybe I didn't rebuild Mobies. Let me try that again. Okay. Oh wait, this is not conquest. All right, nice. Got the one node in the center. Looks good. Nice, yeah, looks good. Okay, let's patch up that terrain really quick for by green. All right, that swing shot doesn't really make sense anymore, so I think I kind of want to add it over here so you can kind of like skip going around. And you have like this um, second one. I'm not sure how high I need this to be though, or even where. probably okay. I'll have to test that one out. Yeah, probably get rid of some of this, like, or smooth out, like, let's not use a brush size that big. Smooth out some of these ripples, like, go 40? Yeah. Same thing here. It's like a bit too rough. See what that looks like. Nice, yeah, that's better. Might need to increase the elevation in front of the swing shot so it activates better. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. What's a good way to just notice that? Whatever. Yeah, I mean, I could just make a copy of these T-frags maybe and just have it like kind of go into the ground. Could try that, see what happens. Yeah, it sucks it does that. There we go. Um, yeah, maybe like there. Man. Okay. Lower, so bring this out. Like there, maybe? And then we can like fill this part. Fill this part out. Use a more uniform brush. Lower the height a bit. We don't really need it. Smooth this so it kind of like goes more gradually into it. I might need to change this so it like goes into the wall a bit more. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Like the water will periodically like reset. It's weird. All right, let's select this again. I want to scale it up a bit. I love it. Just, there we go. I think that's better. And then we could like maybe angle this so like, nah, that's not gonna work. Okay, that's fine. Just need a. I mean, honestly, like I would not be opposed to just putting a rock there. Um, yeah, let's do that. So we'll find a tie. Grab the tie models. Filter by tie, so we get rid of the collision. Excuse me. Yeah, let's see what options we got. Yeah, we have more of these rocks. Let's see if we have like a more simple rock, maybe somewhere. What the heck is this? This looks like it's from Arcadia, or Metropolis, I mean. We haven't tried one of these before. Oh, wait. I'm not filtering through mine. I'm filtering through all assets. That makes more sense. We could use another one of these. That's not a bad idea. Um, this is not interesting. What would this look like? Okay, I would need to fix the collision for it. What does the collision look like for this? Looks good. This is kind of cool because you could actually like use this. Um, might actually be able to charge boot wrench off that. Oh, the swing shot might get in the way. Yeah, let me fix the collision for this really quick. We'll give it a shot. Nice. Okay. Yeah, let's build this. T-frags, ties. Yeah, that should be good. One thing I haven't done yet is added a custom model and use the shrub converter on it. I'd like to figure out a way to incorporate that. Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool. I like that. Oh yeah. Good call, Badger. That's perfect. Does it work like this too? Oh yeah. Nice. Very nice. Probably need the same thing here then. Yeah, definitely do. You can kind of do it off this. Nope, you can't. I almost wonder if it would just be better to have these either removed or moved over so the line is like this. Because right now they kind of just go like I don't know if it's really faster to go this way because you could just not. But if you went like cut through here, then it would be like the route would be to go down here and then like that, which would be better than going down here and then going around. But right now it's like not a huge buff. Um, give it a shot. Okay, and then if I just add some kind of platform here. Try and set height. And then smooth the edges here. Let's see, we have to make sure that this actually like renders correctly, like gets converted here. Uh, not quite. Hmm. Yeah, we could use another like platform. So there's probably like a tie that we can pull that has a flat edge that we could use as a like a um use to like ramp off of. Also incorporate some Ghost Station pieces to make this tie more into Ghost Station. Maybe not though. Dum. Yeah, I don't really, other than these, but I mean, this could work. Like, this could also work. See what this would look like. Just need to give it a collider, which we'll have to fix the collision for this too. Um, that's not bad. Let's fix the collision for this really quick. And then we probably need to do the same thing over here. Likely just like make this run in the direction that we want to go. I do think because of the way that this is raised, we could probably get away with making it be like more off the ground. Have it like into the, maybe stretch it out a bit and bring it in. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, I think if this is good, then the next thing is to probably do the occlusion. So I'll kind of walk through. That one's, it's not hard to do. It's just a bit more technical. So I'll kind of walk through the process for that, like what, how to like test too. Hmm. All right, that's pretty good. I don't like the landing so much over here because you kind of almost land in the water. You do land in the water. Um, so maybe we can like either wrap this more around and have this be out so it changes your direction a bit more. We'll see what happens when we do that. Yeah, it's way better. Um, Cool. Yeah, so let's work on this occlusion. Trying to think. Usually best to test on a PS2 because that's sort of um, the lowest end hardware, the common denominator to test on. But I think I don't really want to shut that up, so we'll see what kind of numbers we can get on an MU and see if we can improve them. Let me build this again. I think that should be good. Ties, T-frags. Don't need Moby. Don't need collision or yeah. Let's connect to Horizon. Okay. Don't need a patch. It's gonna fail the patch, but we don't need a patch if we're using the MU online. Just have it copy to the build folder. Make sure that we have in Forge settings here. Make sure that we have our Deadlocked build folder includes where our custom maps go for the emulator, and then when we load in here, what's this called? Map called? Let's create. Yeah. So let's see what happens. Oh wow, it looks so much better on upscaled PCSX2. Okay. So we have these numbers here. They don't really mean a whole lot on PCSX2 because the emulator, how quickly it can run or how quickly it can render the map is dependent on the hardware of the computer, and also on different versions of the emulator. So, and I'm also just seeing one across everything. So, yeah, best way to test this is with hardware. You'll find like hotspots where the map is very laggy, or at least the number jumps up really high because it's rendering like the entire map. But it looks like for this, I can't really test that on MU. It's just giving me. You're looking at this GS number right here. I'm always seeing 1.0 right now, but on PS2 you would see it kind of go up and down depending on how much it has to render. The higher the number, the slower it is. And usually you don't want it to be higher than like 6 or 7 milliseconds at the most. Ideally, it would be like 5 or less, but the very like tippy top would be like 6 or 7. That's when you get like if you have a map that's like 6 or 7 milliseconds in a certain spot, if you have 10 players in that spot, like fighting over a hill, for example, shooting each other, there's a lot of things going on. It's gonna drop frames on PS2. So we'll assume that there's definitely spots like that on this map, and we'll just start working on the occlusion. You always want to implement occlusion. There's really no reason not to. It's kind of like free performance. So go ahead and quit. Yeah, so let's start on that. So to do that, we're going to create an empty object, and we'll call this occlusion. And then we'll create a new empty inside of it called volume, and we'll add a component here called we'll type in occlusion, look for occlusion volume. So you can see now I have this like box. I'm going to scale it up so we get a bunch of it's not rendering it. Why is it not rendering? Do I have fade gizmos? Oh, okay. Yeah, I recommend having fade gizmos off for that reason. But yeah, so now we have all of these octants here, the green boxes, and what we want to do is we want to try and fill the map out with these. So we'll just do a really quick box that kind of estimates the scope of the map here. Make sure we just cover all of it. Now, you don't want a ton of octants. It's not good for like this eventually gets packed and baked down into a binary file, and the more octants you have, the more of it gets merged, and so the less meaningful each optimization is. So reducing the number of octants is important. It also helps speed up bake times. Right now we have 23,000, which I would consider a lot, especially for a map of this like low complexity. So what we're going to do is we're going to enable sticky. And what sticky is going to do is it's going to go and find all of the octants that are near collision, and it'll use those instead of ones that include or it'll basically just only include octants that are next to like walls or floors, which is typically where a player would be, is on a wall or a floor. Exceptions being like if you had a jump pad somewhere that goes up really far, you'd probably want to include octants in that area, and you can add another volume for that. So this is still a lot more than I would want. You're also going to get octants that are inside objects, which you don't want. That can lead to like glitch spots where the map will stop rendering for a second. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add another game object here. We'll call this graph. We'll call it occlusion graph. And then we're going to add a node underneath it. So create empty, name it node, and add occlusion node to it. Gaming. And we're just gonna, so the idea with this node system is we're going to basically build out a bunch of points in space where an octant should be visible. So if I just start, placing a bunch of these around the map, usually I keep them in the air. If it's an interior location, then it might be beneficial to not have it in the air. But the basic idea is that let's refresh this really quick. Yeah, you saw we went from 13,000 and 9,000 from that. But the idea is that like for any of these octants, it's only valid if it can see one of these nodes. So if it's, for example, in here where we used to have a bunch of green boxes, it would be excluded as they are here. They're not they don't show up anymore because they can't see one of these nodes. And so that helped get rid of those. It got rid of some of the ones that are under the ground. Keep in mind that these boxes, they're small in here, but they actually represent like a whole 4 units. Here, I can actually edit the script really quick and show that off. So if I go to this, I think I want to do like that, which either times 4 or times 8 to counter the 0.5. They're 4 by 4 by 4 cubes. Yeah, so times 8. All right, so this is like what each octant actually looks like. It's a bit harder to see now, which is why the boxes are smaller, but it kind of helps visualize. So like when you look in here, you'll see some of these boxes are inside, but that's just because part of the box is actually outside. So it's including the whole box instead of just the corner of it, which is fine. That's expected. So yeah, you can see there's still quite a bit of geometry that we really don't want. What we can do now, I think, is like take the box that we have and just lower the height, which should bring down the number of octants quite a bit. Just do like 10. Like shift this up a bit. Yeah, no, this is not. It's too low now. That could work. Yeah. Um, you know, and the more time you spend on this to like um this should not include. I wonder if this is the. It shouldn't include like there should be a way to like filter. Is this somewhere? Inclusion, bake settings. Yeah, I guess there's not a. There should definitely be a filter on that, so that it's not including the water. Is near a walkable surface. Ah, so it's ignoring. Yeah, that's probably something that needs to be done in the future. Right now, it's counting all of this like water as valid surface to add an octane above, but like realistically, a player would never be this far out. So these are all unnecessary and unused in like a real game. So kind of a disadvantage of. I mean, that should be. You should be able to configure which collision IDs it will detect. So that's like something to add. But currently, like this is an example of like if I broke this one volume out into a bunch of smaller ones, I would be able to fit the dimensions of the map a lot better. Yeah, and there's different techniques you can do to try and compensate for that. But I think what we'll do is bring this. We'll make this smaller, and we'll just kind of try and fill out the map a little bit better. Yeah, like that's better. Make a copy of the volume and just add it over here. This time we'll shrink it down and do something like this to kind of fit this little peninsula. Like that, and then scale it. Yeah. There's no issues if they overlap, the volumes overlap. It won't like create a duplicate octant in the same spot. So no need to worry about that. Like this. Oh, I just realized this is not necessary. Okay. So yeah, this is good. Probably get away with shrinking it a little bit, like so. And then bringing it over. I think that's fine. And then I think maybe bringing or stretching this out a little bit more and bring it in like that. And then do something like this, cover more of it. I kind of want to return that back. It's a little hard to see. So let's get rid of this ×8. Okay, and then let's see. I guess we can like stretch this out a bit. Yeah, and then stretch it out like this a little bit too. I have this path here that I have to keep in mind, so I need to add some octants there. So we'll try and do it like this. Oh, what these are? Oh, they're seeing this node here. So we can move this node a little bit more in so that it's not including this. There we go. So that's now hidden. We'll add another one and shrink that down a bunch. So this will encompass the swing shot. Cool. I mean, that pretty much covers the map. Let's see what this has. Yeah, that's covered. Yeah, this looks good. I think there needs to be more here, like vertically. So just shift this up until we get another layer. Yeah. Make sure the bottom's good. It is. And kind of same thing here probably. Just get 2 layers on top of the ground. It's usually like the camera is usually like 1 or 2 above. So that should be good since this is like the highest part of the map. Looking at all the octants together now, this seems pretty good. So we have 2 above like every point, 3 here, but that's okay, I guess. And yeah, no, like interior is including octants. It doesn't need to. This is missing. We should probably stretch that out a little bit. It's kind of unfortunate. This is like seeing octants. It must be like some nodes, like this node or something. We can try and bring that in and see what happens. That does help. Okay, these are unavoidable, I think, because they're just going to see something, but it did clear up like a bunch of those, which is good. All right, that's good enough. I don't know how many we have exactly, but yeah, that should be good enough. So now that we have the volume set up, we have all these octants configured. That kind of you can see it covers the layout of the map pretty well. And just to like show what this looks like without the nodes, if I like refresh the cache on all of these, see the number of octants goes up each time I refresh it, and the total number now just covers the actual shape of each volume. So this node graph is, and on top of that, actually, the parts inside here are like filled. So node graph is like super important for this, and I'd honestly recommend it on like any map that you're doing, that you set up occlusion and that you use the node graph. All right, so now that that's done, what we need to do is bake the occlusion. So we can go to Forge, Tools, Occlusion, Bake Occlusion, and this will just start going through each octant. So you can kind of see here, like, it's actually running pretty quickly, but like if you have a lot of octants, and you have a more complex map, then the number of octants or number of milliseconds per octant will go up, and then the count will be a lot slower. 1 second. All right, so now we get the pleasure of seeing the results of this. So what we can do is we can count that. If we select a tie, we can see render octants. And so what this does is it shows us all of the points in space, all the octants, where if a camera is, it will render this object. So you can kind of see, like, you know, if I'm over here, I can kind of see that object. If I'm over here, I can see it. But if I'm over here, it's obstructed by this wall. So it's not going to render. Same thing here, but then now I can see it again. Now I can see it, etc., etc. And that's like the fundamental idea with this is like it's an optimization technique to not render certain objects when they're not in view, and it can help a lot with performance. Obviously, the more open a map is, then the less this is going to be effective because the map is going to have less things obstructed at any given point. And part of, I think, learning about learning how to like deal with make maps for these games is learning how to like deal with the constraints that you have with the hardware. And so you might like go balls to the wall and like want to add all these cool things and make a really interesting map, but when you try and run it, it just performs poorly. So you have to start like adding things and filling things in to like kind of cover stuff up and um, create like basically like design the map to be better optimized for occlusion. And I think this map is fine because there's not really a lot going on, but other maps might need it more. So yeah, if I like select this, you can kind of see the same thing. Let's see what else, like this rock. Kind of use this to like test. It looks pretty good though, I think. Like, you can kind of see, it's almost like if you shot like light or like a ray of light or something out in all directions, like what would it cast a shadow on? And that's kind of what you see here. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so that looks good. This also works on T-frags. So like if I select these T-frags here, like render octants, similar thing. You can't really. I don't think you can actually render that on these. The occlusion is baked for these for the terrain that gets generated from this. But oh wait, no, you can hit render. I think. Yeah. Okay, it does work. So you just have to find like you go through all of these chunks, these T-frags, like this one for example. Yeah, you can visualize it there. Cool. So what we'll do is we'll rebuild that. And we'll see what it looks like in game. All right. Let's see what this does. I mean, if everything worked correctly, you won't actually see anything new. It all, behind the scenes, things will be popping in and out, but you shouldn't actually see it. See if yeah, so like that rock there, it shouldn't render behind here. And as far as we can tell, it's working. We don't see it popping in and out. That's like when you know you have bad occlusion, and that can happen like with dense geometry like this. Like if you get your camera in there, sometimes you can get it to like create funky things. I think the trees over here too would be a good edge case to look at. Like just look for popping, basically. You can kind of see it. Like I don't know if you see this right here. See it like popping in and out. But you'll kind of get those. Oh, you definitely see it over there. Yeah. Oh, you get a lot of it right here. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Let's see what other places where it happens. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like it's mostly just in that tree area. We'll see what we can do about that. I don't. Unfortunately, it's kind of just like edge case that I need to like debug and figure out because I think the baker should be able to correctly um, bake the occlusion in these cases, but it just doesn't for some reason. Not entirely sure why. I think maybe what we can do. So if you go in map, there's this thing here called occlusion bake settings, and you can increase the feather radius to 1, and that might help. So we'll try that. Forge, yeah, tools, occlusion bake. All right, and what we can do, again, the water keeps breaking. I have no idea why. We can select like this and render octants and kind of see if we can. Oh, it's still. Yeah. Well, actually, no, that one's not a good example. Maybe this rock is a better example. Yeah, I mean that's all visible. Not right here. That's not great. Interesting. Yeah, let's see. Just see what it looks like in game. All right. Build this. Okay. We just start. Yeah, let's see what we get. It's still doing it. It looks like. Wait, actually, maybe not. No, it looks a lot better. Let's see what. Yeah. So I think the feathering seemed to help it quite a bit. I don't really see the popping anymore. Um, Feathering's not ideal, so it's kind of like a hack fix. Ideally, it wouldn't do this at all, but yeah, if you run into these issues, sometimes using like a feather of 1 can help. So that's good to know. All right, so I think the occlusion's good. I don't see any other problems besides what we just fixed. I think the next step is probably we can either add Dezo support or do the mini map. So I think we should do Dezo first. Do the mini map last. So to do that, we're just going to launch Dezo. Go ahead and close this. I don't really need this to run. So go ahead and play. The only thing with this, you want to make sure you have enabled developer F keys enabled in general settings. And that'll let us refresh the map without having to reload it. Go to auto. Let's see, make sure I'm on horizon. I am. Okay. So we'll make a death match again. Give ourselves charge boots. And we'll just start it. See what happens. Oh wait, I might not have rebuilt for T. Yeah, I didn't. Hold on. Rebuild. Um, yeah, we'll just not do this. There we go. Hmm. What did this say? Because it's being used by another process. Okay. Yeah, I kind of goofed. Let me restart the map. Okay, see now what happens. Next file. Let's build deal. Interesting. That's a bug. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so we're in Dizo now. The brightness it's a bit darker, but I don't actually mind it. Kind of looks nice, to be honest. Um, yeah, these. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's not like a whole lot to change. I think I'm gonna tweak the brightness for these. So if I select, I like the darkness, like the darker colors in Dizo. So I'm gonna change the Dizo brightness here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild the Dizo files. And then inside of here, I can just hit F6, and it should. It's not changing the brightness. Set this to 0. Interesting. Change the actual. Something's wrong. Yeah, it might not be. Yeah, this is weird. It should definitely be resetting. Let me check the files really. Yeah, no, it's definitely updating. So yeah, so like if I just hide this, it should hide, right? Yeah. Um, I set that really high. What the fuck? Interesting. Yeah, I don't understand why it's not. Not working very well. That's unfortunate. That's something that needs to be looked at. Yeah, normally you should be able to change these values to adjust the brightness in DZO. The reason is that the game has its own, like alongside the normals that are used to kind of shade it, like darker on one side, lighter on another, depending on its like orientation towards like whatever light source. It has per vertex like intensity values. So the higher the value, the brighter it is, and the lower the value, the darker it is. And those don't get translated into DZO. So in some cases, a model might be really dark in game, but on DZO it's just like bright, like this. And so in order to compensate for that, you kind of have to manually tweak it. But I guess at some point I broke how that works, and now it doesn't. You can't like make it darker. So that needs to get fixed. But that should be like a way that you can control that. So we'll kind of just ignore that for now, I guess. Otherwise, like I feel like the map looks pretty good. Don't really see anything that like stands out as like needing to be fixed. Yeah, like I'm pretty content with this. This looks kind of neat. Yeah, can you like? Yeah. Okay. So Dizo's looking good. Don't see any issues with it. I guess the like ground is kind of not green, but yeah, I mean it's fine. It's not a big deal. Okay. So now that that's good, just quit Dizo now, and we'll work on the mini map. Okay, so mini map. Let's see. What do we want to do for that? Okay, so the first thing with the minimap is we have this map render object, and oh, actually, I totally forgot. With Dizo, there's one other thing. So there's the camera position. So this is when Dizo spawns in, like where the camera is and like where it's facing. So I'm gonna like put this like right here, and angled up a bit. Um, not up, but like slightly down. And then it'll rotate clockwise, so it'll go here and it'll start spinning around like that. And I think that's okay. There's also the sun. You can change like the brightness or the lighting, but I felt like the lighting was fine from what I tested. And there's also like some additional export settings you can configure here. You can change like post exposure if you want to adjust the entire brightness of the map. Give it like a filter. You can override the fog. Change some brightness values for every single tie, shrub, or T-frag, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm also really quick just gonna run the fixed texture clamp on the ties again, just to make sure I didn't miss any. Cool. So for the map render, we need to get this box to kind of fit the map a bit more. Hit. So I think you want to do like 512 by 512. Like how that should be. And we'll replace the ghost station map here. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll center this so it's like more center on the map. Don't like that. Okay. Cool. And so now what we can do is we could start adding layers. So we'll start with the terrain. The terrain, we're going to go ahead and add a map render layer, like so. And we will configure for the terrain, since it's all one big object, we're going to configure it as a depth, render as depth. and let me select this and lock it. So we have this view here. And then what we can do is we can use the forge overlay here to render map render layers. And so that'll basically simulate in here what the map render is going to look like. So now what we can do, we can try and tweak these values here to figure out like what, I think the other thing is like this map, we select this. I feel like it's a bit, it should be higher up and it should be less down. If we re-render this, yeah, there we go. I like that more. So now you can kind of see like the height map here from the terrain is being rendered there. If we go into our custom map, the output minimap, if we re-import this, the output minimap is going to be that. So that looks cool, but like, you know, the minimap in DL is like not super smooth. It can't be super smooth. You can only have 16 colors. So we need to do something called quantizing. So we're going to take this value here, depth quantize count, and we're going to lower it to like 3. So that there's, I think this means there's only going to be 3 colors. It might be 4. I don't know. It's like 3 or it's either this number or this number plus 1. And we can like lower, maybe not that, maybe lower the midpoint. Here we go. So here we can kind of adjust where these colors come in. Should be a way to get the second one. If we have 3, there should be another one. Yeah, I guess not. We had 4 maybe? There we go. That's a bit more what we would want. So yeah, so the dark parts here kind of outline like where the water's going to be. Although thinking about this, we kind of yeah, we'll get into clamping somewhere. Here's the clip. Yeah, so we want to actually get rid of the water. So I think that looks kind of cool, where it's like an outline. Do like 0.44 maybe. Yeah, let's try that. This might not show up in the actual render. Some of it won't at least, but I like that. Maybe we can lower the high. No, lower the midpoint. It's kind of finicky. Like you got to get the right values, but. All right, 0.38. We'll keep that at 1. 0.44 maybe. 0.35, 36, 37. Yeah, we could change the ramp again, but 2 is pretty good. Also, probably don't want the high color to be like fully white. So we'll do a bit more of a gray, and then we'll change the low to be not black, but like a little bit brighter than that. So that looks good. Let's see here. So that's the terrain. Next we can do the ties. So we can add a map render layer to the tie root. You can see now the ties are all there. And we'll we can basically hide. That's probably what we want. Yeah, so the default ties will be hidden. And so now what we can do is we can start organizing these. So we'll create a parent, we'll call this like trees. And we'll just move all of these trees into that object. and we'll add a map render layer to this object, which will override the parent. And again, for trees, I think we can just do a solid color here and just do something like dark gray. And maybe we render this and take a look at like what that looks like. Re-import. Yeah, I think that's probably okay. Cool. Trees, and then what else we got? We got some rocks. We'll do rock walls for the. I'll hide the render layer again so that we can actually like see and select these. But we're just gonna like go through and select all of the things that were used as a rock wall. And oh, that's not what we. Okay, and this. Okay. We'll put this inside of rock wall. I'll include these. Include those inside of rock walls. That looks good. Yeah, we'll do these as well. Let's re-enable the map render layers, and we'll add a map render layer to the root of these rock walls. And again, we're gonna do like a dark color for these because they're not traversable. They're kind of like barriers. Then let's see. Go ahead and hide this again. So now we have like smaller rocks, so we'll create like just another parent for like the rocks that we didn't include that are like kind of traversable slash like not, but also are. We can include this one, why not? Include those, include these. Try to include these. Okay, maybe not. Which one are these? There. Okay, and then map render layers, map render layer. These will be walkable, so we'll make them darker, but like more of a light gray. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, maybe actually now that I think about it, we'll create another parent here. We'll call it rocks. Obstruct, I guess, and then we'll move these bigger ones into to there. Should include these as well. And honestly, this. Then add a map render layer to this. Make this darker. Like, yeah, make it dark, but not too dark. And then the rocks themselves, yeah, I think just like a lighter color. Let's see, what is left? We have the outside rocks, which I think we can put in with just the rocks here. Yeah, those go into the rock walls. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we'll put these inside of here. What else do we have? We have what is this? Oh yeah, we never used this. We'll delete that though. Oh yeah, this can be I don't know. This could be either rocks or rock wall. I feel like we'll try it with rocks. Or I mean rocks obstruct, I mean. See what that looks like. Yeah, no, this should be in rock walls. Yeah, that's better. Then what's this? Oh yeah, this should be with the walls, I think. It kind of fits into there. So now we have these groups, each with their own layer. And that's what the map looks like. We can render this again, the latest version. Yeah, and you can kind of see like there's let's open this. There's like edges here. Are you gonna build a map for UIA? I can try to. Yeah, I'll try to. I'll do parts of it. I don't really know enough about UIA. I think to do like everything, like Siege and like the there's a lot of nuance to UI. I think it would be better if Badger were to do something like that, but I could definitely try. Yeah, so there's like pieces here that are not ideal. So what we can do is we can create um a new game object. And we'll create like a box. I'll give this a map render layer. Where is this? Yeah. Okay. The collider here. So we'll copy the color from this, put it here. We probably need to set a material that is a Horizon universal. So we'll just give it a random material. There we go. Yeah, this isn't great either, huh? Yeah, I mean we could actually do this. Yeah, I think this is what we want. So if we set the opacity to empty, we can basically like force anything that's underneath it to like not be included. So if we render this, nope, that does not work. I thought that would. Maybe it clips it. I thought there was a way to fix this. I can't remember how, other than like manually editing. Hmm. It's not even being rendered. Why? Oh, wait a second. Is this? Oh. Yeah, this should be a map render. Map render. There we go. That should fix that. So now it at least should render. Okay. And so if we set the opacity to 0, then re-render. There we go. Now it's working. Yeah, so you can kind of like hide certain parts like that. Okay, what else? Let's get a better view. We could hide those as well. Render. Yeah. Okay, duplicate. All right. Bring this cube over a little bit. Try and cover up. Yeah. So just doing like cleanup on this to make it look a little nicer. I'm gonna spend a whole lot of time on it. I think it's like this. I want to patch up too. The centerpiece should be like pretty solid. The rest of it looks fine to me though. Yeah. So just cleaning up the center, and then I think we'll be good. So go ahead and do that. I think the center though, unlike this where it's like going to be transparent, the center is going to be solid. So we'll create a new object for this. Just make a copy. And this time we will have a full opacity. So we'll copy the color exactly from the walls and fill it or put it there. And then now we can just like try and complete, like fill in the whole that. See what that looks like. It's pretty close. We got some gaps for sure. So we can just make a smaller cube. Use that. Every time we make a new object, we seem to have to like change the color again to get it to reset, which is not nice, but bugs happen. And then we need another cube down in the bottom to fill in the other gap. We paste, change the color, and then repaste it again. Definitely need one like that's. Bring that in and stretch this out. I think that'll the gaps a little bit better. Render this. Yeah, I mean it's not perfect, but I think it's good. Oh, there's this area too that needs to be patched. Yeah, we can do that again. I think this time I'm just gonna like instead of using a negative like I was using on that side, I'll just fill it in like as black. It's fine. It's gray. Um, Although now that I think about this might look worse. So yeah, let's see what this looks like really quick. Maybe I will make it a negative. Yeah, that's not great. Um, let's see, let's stretch that out. Stretch this out. Stretch that out. Okay. Re-import. There's still a gap between these two, it looks like. Stretch that out a little bit. It's better. It looks like there's like a pixel, few pixels that are missing. Like, thing is, like when this gets pressed down to PS2 size, it's not gonna look quite as bad. I think we need a new object though to fill in this. Just bring it in. That. All right, that's good enough. We'll clean this up a little bit more. Find the hole here. There. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. So we have our mini map set up. We can disable this view now. We can also hide these if we don't want to see them. Or we don't even have to do that. We could just do this. They're still included. What is this? Oh, that's interesting. That's probably the piece that's missing over here. Still have no idea why that happens. Okay. It's looking good. So I think now let's just take a screenshot for the background. So instead of having a Ghost Station loading screen, we can have. Also, maybe we should change the fog here. Fog. Yeah, let's do that. Although maybe not. So let's copy this. Okay. Take a screenshot. You can also do this in game, like on PS2 or something, or in emulator instead of in the editor. Be a good spot for this, like. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Let's just do this. So we'll go to Forge, Utilities, Screenshot, and we'll save that over the loading screen. Look like that, which is fine. We can rebuild our level now. Just rebuild the whole thing. Oh wait, we're testing the loading screen. Loading screen looks good. Minimap. Minimap's pretty dark. I need to bump the colors up now. Yeah, it's like very dark. Yeah, let's tweak the colors really quick. So, ties. Let's do the terrain first. So, you. Is there a way to like change that? Just tint. Oh yeah, let's change this. Render. Yeah, I don't even think we need to. Just do everything, but that should work. Or not. Maybe I do need to rebuild some of these. There we go. That looks a lot better. Yeah, I think that's good. Minimap's good. Yeah, maybe the terrain could be a little bit more interesting. Like, added a 5th color here. Yeah, that's probably a bit better. 5. See what. Hmm. Yeah, I think something about the way that this height is set up is it kind of leads to like 2 colors, so we can keep bumping this up to try and see if we can get more variance. But I'm seeing just like a lot of like the same color. Um, yeah. Honestly, I'm good with it. I think it's fine. Um, okay, so yeah, I mean that's pretty much the DL map done. We have support for Conquest, King of the Hill, Deathmatch, CTF. We have minimap, loading screen. We have the occlusion baked. We have collision working. Yeah, it's pretty much done. Yeah, so I guess we can try and diesel support. We can try and add UAA really quick and see how that works. So we have swing shots. We have swing shots, and that's the only thing that I think we have to be considerate of. So like Hoven has swing shots. I think yeah, it does. I think Bakisi does too, but Hoven would probably work fine. Try Hoven. Yeah, so to add UI support, you just go into the map config here, select, the same goes if you started with the UIA map and wanted to add DL support. You select the base map, and then you hit set, and it will go ahead and import all of the like assets you need from UIA into the scene. And then there's like a little bit of work that we have to do to like kind of make everything work between the versions, but all right. So we have UIA loaded. I think one thing that we should do before we really get started is we should have like shared. We can just drag in all the things that will be shared between the two versions. So sky, collision, depth plane, cuboids, ties. I don't know if splines, terrain, shrubs. Just bring that into shared. Occlusion could stay out, I guess. And then we'll rename this to UIA. Cuboids, I don't think these are definitely shared. And then splines, I think splines are also shared. So we'll move that into shared. Yeah, cuboids tricky because we only want some of these, but not all of them. I think we'll move. I just move the map over. Let's see. We don't care about the spawn points. All right, finding all the player spawns and deleting them. I wish this was like labeled. This makes it much more difficult. So 133. 43, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I'm deleting all the player spawns because I already set those up for DL and they're shared, so I don't really need them for UIA. I do need, there are cuboids that are important, so I'm not deleting all of the cuboids. Oops, that one was not a player spawn. This one is. Oh, that one also was not. Okay. We'll just scroll back up a bit to make sure we didn't miss any. All right. Okay, so cameras. I don't remember which one. One of these is like the camera that's you spawn with, or one of the spawn, I think. I don't know. I don't really know what how the cameras work. Let's see, water. We'll probably want the water to be at the same height as DL's water. Which I think is configured here. That up. Yeah. We'll also want to like change these to be more like DL's water. So we'll lock the DL water here, and then we'll lock the UIA water on the right side. It's like try and match these up. Yeah, I don't care too much about like perfectly matching up the numbers. It's probably fine. Swing shots. Yeah, so looks like we need more, but uh, all right, so doing this just so it's like easier access, but if I just set like, if I set the UIA swing shot as a child to the DL one and set its position, local position, rotation to 0, then drag it back, oops, it'll be where the DL one is. Just do that again, the next one. And then put it right here. Do it right here. So I gotta like place all the Mobies a second time with UIA because they're completely different Mobies. Make a copy of this one. Cool. Another copy. All right, last one. That should be good. Delete that. I think I'm gonna get rid of the. Pretty sure the turbo slider is a vehicle, right? Yeah. So get rid of these. Get rid of the vehicle pads. God, there's so many Mobies. Yeah, I'm not gonna do all this. I really don't feel like adding. I don't have time either. So we'll just move. Oh yeah, Hoven also has the bridge. That's fun. You see like the cuboids for it, like kind of as a ghost of where it used to be. Yeah, we'll go ahead and move the Mobies and cuboids together. At least just like have it where the map is, and then yeah, I mean that's fine. Yeah, let's see what happens now. So if we go to build, just build everything. We'll build it for UIA, like that, and we can load UIA modded. And hopefully it works, hopefully it doesn't crash. Oh, we didn't do the mini map. We can do that in a sec. Oh, wrong map. So make sure the base map's selected. So we did Hoven for this. Siege might not be a good idea. Yeah, we got some crashes. Yeah, let me do deathmatch because I didn't set up like the nodes and stuff. So there's like a decent chance that floating in the air, it's not going to be happy. Looks like there's still some problems. Again, I have no idea what would cause that. It could be related to like tie groups. Yeah, I'm not really sure. There's also some ghost trees here that aren't rendering. That would be a problem with the baker. This is not rendering either. Yeah, this might be related to tie groups. These ties probably don't have a -1 group, and so the game is like manipulating them because that's something that UI does. It's funny how the water looks more like Serathos water on UI than it does on DL. Yeah, so we can see if we can try and fix this. So if we go ties, group ID is -1. Okay, yeah, group ID is like -1 for like all of these. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Badger, if you're around, do you have any ideas? I'm not really sure why some ties are like missing. All the group IDs look correct. They're all -1. Um, let's make sure that it's not the occlusion. I think this one was missing. Yeah, the occlusion looks good. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, UI is like just very finicky. It's a lot harder to make these things. Yeah, it looks good. It's just the you can see the bridge up there. I shoot it. Yeah, looks like Badger's not around. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the issue is here, but um, I mean, it's possible it's related to me not properly configuring the rest of the map, like with the AI and the nodes and such. It seems odd though that certain ties wouldn't appear though. That doesn't make sense to me, but um, yeah, I'm not really sure about that, but oh yeah, the mini map. How is that? What is that select? Okay, where's my button for that? Or is it R3? Oh. Select. How do you open the minimap? Doesn't appear in all modes without a patch for it. Oh. Okay. I can try CTF. The spawn should be working. Where is that configured? Maybe that's in like two-player config? Capture point? I have no idea how this works. Oh, here we go. Multiplayer config blue spawn. Okay, so we can pull that from shared cuboids. I think one is a blue spawn. Yeah, that looks right. Let's see, which one is this? This is 44. Red spawn. Okay, let's build that. Yeah, we're missing like node spawns, which I guess we deleted. That could be causing problems. Nice. Okay. Should have tested the let's see here, where are we? Map render. Yeah, so we can render this to RC3. Also give it a tint to make it more yellow. That. And get rid of the background killer, I think. Um, okay. Then we can just rebuild. We don't need to build all this stuff though. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Nice. It's a bit small, but it works, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if zooming works quite as well in UA. Maybe it does. Could try that. What would this be, like 300 by 300 maybe? Yeah. This will need this patches the code segment, so it will need to repack the level WAD.
Oh, it does work on UA. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, DL it doesn't. Well, I guess it kind of works, but not really. Yeah, nice. Okay. It might even make sense to just have like two versions. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it probably makes sense to like make a copy of map render and have a DL and UA version. But yeah, I think that's it. I will share this map in. Do I have? Um. Yeah. I'll put this up on the Horizon Discord in the map releases. Anyone wants to download it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We didn't cover like how to import a custom model and convert it to a shrub, but maybe we can like figure out like a cut like a maybe we can find a map like Dust 2. Like if people have ideas, they can mention in the Discord, and like I can take a map like Dust 2 and port it to DL from scratch, and that'll be like how to port like a map from another game into DL. What is all the prefab section for? All the prefab section for? Are you talking about the assets resources? This stuff? What is all the prefab section for? On the left menu, when it was condensed, it had all the models and all the prefabs. All prefabs, man, this thing. Groups, I don't know why, but the chat has like this emote, like, okay, that helps. All prefab groups of models you set up yourself. Oh, this? Oh, no, I think it's just like every prefab that's available in the project. And then you can like filter it by, I don't think this will work because none of the assets are actually prefabs, they're just models. But I mean, you could just change the type here to model. And then you could filter by like tie, you could filter by game if you wanted, you could filter by Moby, by shrub. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Good. I thought it was to bundle an object that was in several pieces into one, so you could just drag it in. Oh, you're talking about just like making a prefab. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you wanted to like, if we go into our map, we'll just like create like a folder called like, I don't know, resources. You can create like inside of here. Wait a second. It's kind of tricky with I don't think this will work, but we can try it. We'll just call this like prefab test. But a good one would be like the trees. So we could take this tree. Actually, we could just use. We don't even need to make a game object. We have this tree, so we'll just call this like tree. You can drag it in here and create a prefab. So inside of this is like the trees and stuff that you would have. The problem is that I don't think this just works if you drag it back in. Maybe it does. Oh, it kind of does, huh? Interesting. Yeah, the thing is I don't. I mean, let's find out. I guess. I don't think you can just drag this into any map. Let's open up tower. Like how UIA bases are split into multiple pieces. Yeah, you could. I mean, the thing is, it's usually not. When you import a map, like a UIA map, you'll end up with the bases anyway. I guess you won't have the ties. That's true. Yeah, that could be useful. I've never tried this before. Let me see if this works. So it works on the same map because the model's already imported, but this map does not have the same tree assets. If I drag this in, yeah, this doesn't work. It should just be empty. And didn't even like prompt me to import anything either. Yeah, it wasn't really designed to work that way. You could maybe you can't. I mean, you could like let's see. 2570. You could like do this maybe? If we parent it and just zero out. I mean, this is a lot more work, but yeah, so that'll work. So if you create the prefab based off of the assets that are in here and not like the instance assets, then it will ask you to import, and then I would assume it would work after that. But yeah, it's not really designed that way, so it's kind of hard to do that. Also, like, you know, with Forge, it's like you import all the assets when you set it up. So there isn't a way for me to like create. Well, I guess I could, but it wouldn't be reliable. But to have like a pre-built like UIA like red and blue base, because the model, the textures in the model isn't there until you import. Yeah. But that is like the purpose of it within Unity. It's just that unfortunately with how Forge works, it's not, you don't have access to like the full array of features that Unity offers. I guess you do have access to it, but like you can't really use it with Forge because Forge is like limited in terms of what it can do. So there are things about it though that are really cool, and it definitely, using Unity as a base for Forge is like super helpful in accelerating so many parts of it. Like being able to import models of different formats and stuff, but having like, yeah, you know, like for a while the terrain feature was just like something you could do with Unity, but wouldn't convert into Deadlocked or UIA, but now it can kind of. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff like custom shaders and things that you could do in Unity, but they wouldn't translate into the game. Yeah, cool. All right, I think I'm done. I'm gonna post the map, and yeah, hopefully hopefully this was helpful. Um, cool. All right, see you guys.